Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. I'm here to talk to you about this game. It is called Looting Atlantis. This is a disaster-themed game in which each person is trying to escape Atlantis and also trying to loot Atlantis with as much, well, like, ill-gotten gains as they possibly can before they escape the destruction of their city. It is for 2 to 4 people. You can play it in about a half hour to 40 minutes, and it is on the lighter side of things, and I've had a lot of fun playing it with my family. But let me show you exactly how to play Looting Atlantis, and then we'll come back here and we'll talk more about the game. Alright? Awesome. Cool. This is Looting Atlantis, and I'm going to show you how to play the game. It shouldn't take too long because there is a pretty straightforward rule set, but there are some little curves and hoops you have to jump through if you want to be successful at playing the game and winning the game. So this is a disaster-themed game, but you are not in danger of actually being destroyed by the volcano. You can be slowed down by it a little bit, but you will be escaping Atlantis and being able to total up your points at the end of the game. And whoever obviously scores the most points will win. You can see that there's these different locations on the board, and each one of these locations has a stack of 4 cards in each one. Now, you are supposed to kind of spread them out like this so you can actually see the different colors. I didn't do that to show off the cards, if you will. The reason you want to show that off is because during the game, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be collecting cards, and you have different powers. Like you have this card, is discard this card to your current location. And what I should mention, if you do discard a card to your current location, it goes on the very bottom. That's important because when you're on the spot, when you collect the cards, you have to collect the top card on the stack. But anyway, so the fusion battery, you can say discard this card to your current location and immediately take 2 actions. So basically you power up your space car, which is what you have. These are these flying cars that you have. And I should mention, once again, this is a prototype, so what you see in front of you may or may not be what the final game looks like. But regardless, you'll see those pawns there? Those are flying cars. Anyway, so, and you see a little picture of the person with the fusion battery there, but you'll also notice that there are these little numbers, and these are the victory points. So if you have one of these cards at the end of the game, one of these yellow cards, it's worth 3. Another one is worth 4. 3 is worth 7. It's not that much, but you can see if you can start getting up to the 10, it really jumps up as far as the number of points scored. This is a game that you are going to score hundreds of points. So, and you might be thinking, oh, hey, I scored 270 points, and somebody next to you goes, I scored 320. Regardless, so that's what the cards are as far as gathering them. They have a power and they have an ability, but they also, have points at the end of the game, and so you kind of want to try to make sure that you do that. Some of the cards, like this, is a set collection card. So if one set of the above colors makes all unified field generated cards worth 20 instead of 4. So if you had, this, but you managed to collect those, you would get 20 for this card instead. So so there's varying ways you can score points and different strategies you can take. But regardless, the way you play the game is the very first thing you have to do is you have to take one of these orange discs and you have to place it on the board to show where the lava is flowing. Now at the beginning of the game, the first person has to place it on one of these 4 starting spots here, like so. Then later on, the next person to place this little disc can either place it in one of those 4 spots, or they can build off of the spot that it has already been placed. Now, the interesting thing is that once you get and destroy one of these spots, the first thing that happens in that spot that's destroyed, if the person is on that spot, they will immediately then have to flip their pawn over like that, and the first action they'll have to take in their turn is to stand up. But the interesting thing is that normally you have 2 actions, but once lava has actually reached the city, everybody starts getting 3 actions. Once you get to the part where you're here, this would be destroyed. So if you had lava that flowed all the way down here, you would then go ahead and destroy that section of the city, and you'd remove the cards that were on that spot, and those are discarded and out of the game permanently. They can't be collected. Also, you can never go back to that spot. It's considered to be like null and void and destroyed. It should also be mentioned that multiple players can be on the same spot. There's nothing preventing players from being on the same location as another player. Anyway, on your turn, normally, like I said, you have two actions, or you have 3 actions after the lava reaches the end. with your 2 actions, or 3 actions for that matter, you can take the same action twice if you want, and that's mostly done when you collect cards. 1 action collects the top card. If you're in a spot where you want both cards, like blue's in this spot and they want both cards, they could say, I'm going to collect this card, and I'm going to collect that card, and that would be their 2 actions. And so, like, and then you have, I'm just going to show you these, like the mental amplifier, give this card to another player at your current location, and take any card of your choice from them. Notice it also is worth 7 points at the end of the game. That's a reason for you to be on the same spot as somebody, obviously, because if you can give them this card that is 7 points, and you could get a card that will, like, be one of your multipliers that is going to, like, you know, say these, like, green cards here, you can get, like, your 6th card and get 36 points because you have 6 green cards, then obviously it's a good choice. They can't deny the request. When you say, I want to switch cards with you, you have to do that. Some of the other cards abilities that you have here, like you can see here, the personal force field card, discard this card to change the lava placement of another player. Say somebody, you know, the red player was there, they say, I want to destroy you, or your car, and basically burn it up with lava so you have to lose part of your turn. You could play that red card and say, no, 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 you're going to place the lava there. You know, pretty simple. Stuff like that is like the cool things about this game. Do I discard the cards that's worth points? And is it worth it for me to, like, use it for those points? So that's kind of the cool decisions that you have to make when you're playing this game. Eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to get to the point where a lot of these cards have been taken, and a lot of these cards are in people's hands. There is no hand limit. You can have as many cards as you possibly can, and obviously more cards means more points. However, at one point, you can, well, I should say, the other thing you can do on your turn is just move. So, like, and then when you have 3 moves and say, remember this guy got burnt up by the lava, like, your first action would be to fix your car, and then the next one is going to be to move, and then the next one could possibly be to loot. If you're in a spot that has 3 cards and you have 3 actions, you can collect cards 3 times in a row. That is completely an option for you. Eventually, however, what's going to happen is that you're going to have these spots cleared off. I'm just going to clear them off just so you can kind of see. And you can see over there, there is a country right there. And there is one down here as well, Egypt, and there's one here as well, China. And these are worth 20, 30, and 40 points respectively. At any point, you can say, I'm done collecting my cards. I'm going to use all my actions this turn, and I'm going to escape to, well, theoretically, you'd want to escape the most valuable one. I'm going to escape, and then you're done. And normally this happens after people have collected a lot of their stuff, and you want to protect the cards that you have in your hand, so nobody can take the stuff that you have. And you go there, you've escaped, nobody can escape to the same spot that you just took, and then you're done, and you wait for the rest of people to kind of mop up the board and take care of themselves. Then if somebody's going to escape to there, and somebody's going to escape to there. Now that's only in a 4-player game. Obviously in a 3-player game and a 2-player game, you're going to reduce the number of spots that you can go. One person is going to be stuck. They're not going to get to escape to any to the bonus points area. They're not destroyed. They still get to escape Atlantis, but they're not going to get those bonus points. Then you total up your total bonus points, the bonuses that you have for, you know, like the multicolor, like this one I showed you, the unified field generator. You know, like you total up all your red cards, all your green cards, all the yellow ones, and then, you know, the blue ones as well. You total up all those points, and whoever has the most points looted Atlantis the best and gets to retire in luxury at whatever location they chose to be at after the destruction of their home has occurred. So there you go. Looting Atlantis has a pretty straightforward rule set, but it does have, as I said, those hoops to jump through and those little curves and what have you that are going on. It is a lighter family game, and I've had a lot of fun playing this with my daughter and my wife, and I have played it with my gaming group, and we've had fun with it as well. As one of those games that, like, is very straightforward and easy to play. You know, it doesn't tax my brain so much to go through it. You know, I guess the math for me gets a little tough for me to add up. That's what the cell phone's for, right? So, but let me tell you more about Looting Atlantis in my conclusion. Alright, thank you very much for taking the time to watch the how to play portion of the video. I just want to say, like, this card here with the mass energy confer, that guy looks like Spock. I mean, maybe it's just the haircut, I don't know, but that's just me. Anyway, as I said, this game is a family game. It is a lighter game as far as the strategy type games go. But it has been a heck of a lot of fun to play this with my daughter. I've really enjoyed watching her figure out the math that's involved in the game, collecting the sets and figuring out which card is the best for her to grab and how many points she's going to get out of that card. Because of the fact that she's taking it at that time, and for me, because of the fact that I've just I'm older and I've done a lot of math and I play a lot of games like this, it kind of comes secondhand. But it is, as I've said in other things, I feel bad that I'm kind of, well, I shouldn't say I don't feel bad at all. But I am raising my daughter to be kind of a board game nerd, and she shows a lot of love for that. But it's fun watching her graduate, from games like King of Tokyo, which are still fun and things like that. But graduating into that strategy game and graduating into that light strategy type game, and then I just know eventually I'm going to be able to graduate her even further, and then theoretically that idea is when she's 15, I'm going to be playing Dominant Species with her or something like that. But regardless, this is one of these great little light strategy games that is a lot of fun. I mean, she, watching her learn how to figure out that taking extra yellows, might be worse than taking an extra green, because green is like a doubling, green is a squaring of the points, things like that. I'm watching those tumblers move in her head. Now, on the flip side, as far as my gaming group goes, this is a very, very straightforward game. I put this in that conversational Euro category that a lot of games fall into for me. And these are great games for me to play with my buddies when we want to just be able to play something light that's going to take just a brief amount of time to get us kind of primed for the bigger game of that evening. We're waiting for somebody else to show up, or even if everybody's already there, we just want to just play something to goof around so we can just talk about whatever. Talk about baseball, talk about politics, talk about our days, talk about our projects, things like that. Because the focus doesn't have to be on the game. You can kind of just have that conversation. It gets to your turn, you take your actions, and you go through. And you're done, and you've had fun playing the game. You've had fun because you've had great conversations and times with your buddies, but the purpose of the game was there. It was the impetus of that situation, and I enjoy the fact that the game was there for that as well. And it is a challenging game. I mean, it is a game that, yes, you're going to have hundreds of points in your scores, but it is one of those things where it's you always have to survey all the different possibilities of your actions and choose the best one, and that's not always an easy thing to do. So I'm never going to say that it's super complex, but I am going to say this game's a lot of fun, and I've been able to enjoy it on both the level of playing with my family and playing it with my gaming group as well. So there you go. If you like games with kind of the weird fantasy disaster motive, I think you're going to enjoy this. If you like set collection games, I mean, this game has that mentality that it isn't like card drafting or anything like that, but I mean, it has that purpose of you can see what you have, and taking the card that you need but don't want to open up a door for somebody, that part of card drafting where you have to kind of make up your mind as far as, do I take that card but then allow somebody else the opportunity to get the card that's below it, that sort of thing. I like that part about the game, and it is a challenging portion of the game, and I like that it dips its toes into that mentality or that structure that I enjoy. I mean, it isn't super tough decisions, but they are challenging decisions, and you don't want to hand somebody the win, by opening the door for them. So it's fun to make up your mind as far as those things are concerned. But regardless, I think if you're looking for a lighter strategy game that you can play with your family, or just as I said, a tune-up to the big game for game night, I think you should really check out Looting Atlantis, and we'd probably figure out that it'd probably be a good game to have on your shelf behind you, so you have it ready for you when the need arises. All right, so if you have any questions about the game, please ask away. I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I am the Undead Viking, and I am telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day.